Hi, guys. It's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. So, I have the full trial. All right. I did not get the jury selection because it's boring to me and I'm not going to do it. Nope. You want to see the jury selection? You go over there. But I do have the full trial and we're going to watch that today. But I have a stupid question first that I want to know the answer to. I because look, I have the whole world in this chat. Belgium and Australia and Ireland and you know Texas. Just kidding, Fozzie. I have everybody in here. Now, I live in Lancaster. There's a lot of farms in Lancaster. A lot of Amish in Lancaster. Okay? Okay. Listen. So after I took a shower, I fell asleep wrongly. And my hair now won't go down because it dried that way. That's fine. In Lancaster, we call this right here when this won't go straight down a cowlick. Is that what everybody else calls it everywhere? See, in Arizona, Debbie, in Arizona, is that a cowlick? Kay from Butler, Pennsylvania, is that a cowlick? What do you call that? What do you call that? Hey. Well, listen, if they call it a cowlick in Australia, there we go. See, I was just wondering because we have a lot of cows. I didn't know if it was just a Lancaster thing. All right, let's find this trial. I did try to bump the audio up. There it is. Found it. Is that too loud? Listen, adjust your headset now. I'll play another second of it. Too loud for me. There's some new people in here. AC. It's very, very, very nice to see American Courts. Go check out his channel. Hold on. I'm going to put a link in for you. We all could learn so much from American Courts if we wanted to be professional. I was in Dillsburg, K, 9/11. Like everybody asks, where were you? You know, when you knew the first plane had hit, I was in Dillsburg. So that Dillsburg always reminds me of that. Always. I was selling a security system to a subway. Things we do for money. That doesn't look right. Hold on, that's not AC's. Hold on, hold on, hold on. That looks wrong. It is wrong. That's my own link. Don't don't go there. That's not AC's link. Control C failure, guys. Hope Johnson, thank you so much for the gifted membership. Thank you. It's so nice to see all the green. There is American Courts site, guys. There's his channel. No, Fozzie. I can post a picture of a. I can play a little video clip of a sneeze boob, but no, I can't do that. I'm not going to, guys. Don't worry. Time for a court. Don't forget to rise for the jury.
Okay.
All right, jury.
All right, everyone, please be seated. And ladies and gentlemen of the jury, thank you so much for coming back. You didn't run off. I'm proud of you. Thank you so very much. So I like to give roadmaps of how things are going to go. So what's going to happen now is we will start with opening. After openings, the state will put on their case in chief. They will put on as many witnesses as they have. After they're done, they will rest, and then it'll be the defense's turn. And we'll go try to be as fast and as efficient as possible so as to be, expedient with your time, okay? All right, guys, would you like to start opening?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jerry, thank you for being here today. Today, we are here to address the reckless and dangerous conduct of Mr. Martinez on August 31st, 2023. On that day, he put not only himself, but also the general public, everyone on our roadways, on August 23rd, or August 31st, 2023, Officer Casares observed Mr. Martinez speeding his motor vehicle on the tollway. You will hear about the initial traffic stop, the reason for the initial traffic stop and the ensuing investigation. And
The noise in the courtroom is just a little bit much, but it dies down. It dies down a bit. You just got to get through it. And listen to Logan. Hi, Logan.
at the end of these 2 days, you will have heard all of the evidence, and we will have given you everything you need to determine that Mr. Martinez is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of driving while intoxicated. You will see that his conduct on August 31st, 2023 constituted a clear violation of this state's laws prohibiting driving while.
Congratulations. You came here where we post domestic violence videos every day. I'm so happy for you, Bruce. Good job. How in the world did she say yes? What did you do? That's awesome. That's just awesome.
Intoxicated. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, at the end of testimony, we will then ask you to render the only true verdict that comports with the evidence that you will have seen. A verdict that, the verdict that justice demands. It is the verdict that the defendant is guilty of driving while intoxicated. Thank you all so much.
Yeah, Judge. From voir dire, what you're not going to see in this case is a typical DWI that you might be imagining in your mind, or that you might have seen on TV or heard about on the news. Nobody called anybody in who was driving like a maniac or weaving or a drunk driver out on the road. That's not this case. They said they'll provide you with everything they've got. I believe that's true. It's not much at all. It's certainly not enough where you're going to say, wow, they have convinced me and proved to me beyond a reasonable doubt that this person is driving while intoxicated. Not enough to sign our signature on a verdict line saying this person is guilty. Not enough to saddle them with a criminal conviction for the rest of his life based on the evidence that they have. Sometimes they've got very strong evidence, there's no question. Sometimes they don't. These guys are good guys. They're going to show you what they got. It's up to you to decide. You'll probably even hear the officer state that you're free to decide guilty or not guilty. Nothing bad will happen to him if you say not guilty. You're going to hear that when they pull somebody over and they smell alcohol, it's the safe thing to do to take them off the street. That's what he did. But from Bordeaux, here's sloppy. You're not going to hear any evidence about a person being sloppy. When they asked about what signs of intoxication do you notice, not all with it. That's not this case. You're not going to see anything about that. There's going to be no evidence that Mr. Martinez was ever confused about what was going on, that he was impaired. You're not going to see any evidence from this scene, from this traffic stop, which will be on video, that he was impaired. What you are going to see is that they pulled him over for, in the testimony, we're not going to argue with the officer. He says he radared it at 100 miles an hour in a 60. He's not on trial for speeding. If he was, we wouldn't be there. Okay? This is DWI. So all this other stuff, like, I respectfully disagree. You're not going to hear any evidence that he put
Happy
anybody in danger.
birthday.
You're going to see one other car on the road, not even in the same lane. There's no other traffic on the freeway. They didn't put anybody in danger. Nobody called them in saying you're putting anybody in danger. So I respectfully disagree with that. You'll see the video of the stop and you can see that that's just not this case. Impaired, that was another thing. You're gonna see about a minute of interaction with Mr. Martinez where they come to his window, talk to him, and his speech is perfect. I bet he says it was slurred. I don't think you're gonna see that. Ask him right then, automatically, because if you're driving at night and you're speeding, you're obviously intoxicated, right? That's the only explanation. Well, have you been drinking? He's gonna say, yes, a little bit. He says, I had one drink. That's for you to decide and to judge. I mean, does everybody always tell the police exactly how many drinks they had? Probably not. They might say none, they might say a couple, but it doesn't really matter because whatever he says you had to drink.
I was looking for a good place to pause, and there just isn't one because attorneys talk forever, just like me. Happy birthday, Lori. Give her a comment on happy birthday, please.
They've got to prove that he was driving while intoxicated beyond a reasonable doubt. And there are tests in their arsenal, in their tools. They have tools they can use to determine if a person is intoxicated, like the standardized field sobriety test. And you're going to hear that Mr. Martinez made a knowing decision, conscious decision to not take those tests. And he was still sitting in his car, and the officer said, so you going to take any of my tests? He's like, no, sir. And it's something that you can listen. It's something like I've either been told not to or advised or don't trust those tests or something. I'm not sure many people do trust those tests. It's awkward balancing tests to determine if a person has their normal physical faculties. But you can listen, and you'll also hear, this is important, that the officer's going to say every single person has the right to refuse those balancing tests. And that's what he chose to do. So if you get pulled over and you smell like alcohol, first of all, you're going to hear the officer say it's not DWI just because you smell like alcohol. You can drink and smell like alcohol and drive and not be intoxicated. So the odor of alcohol alone, you're going to hear, that doesn't prove a person's intoxicated. You all know that. You can drink some alcohol and not be intoxicated and smell like alcohol. And he made a decision to not take those tests. And that's it. They get him out of the car, they arrest him for DWI. That's it. That's all you see. Pulled him over for speeding. He says, I had one drink while he's still sitting in the car. They get out and put him up against the car, handcuff him. Case is over. Not in control of the vehicle. That's not this case. Aloof. You're not going to see any evidence of him acting aloof. Falling asleep. He's certainly alert. Quick with his answers. Smiley, friendly, cooperative. I was coming from 59. I lived 10 minutes away. Wasn't dancing with a lampshade on his head. You'll see no evidence of any loss of inhibitions. You won't see it. This is quick. This is a very quick case. You're not going to see him overly affectionate. He's not trying to hug the police officer or do anything crazy like that. He's not acting loud, not talking loud. You're not going to hear that he has possibly difficulty hearing the officer, or that he's trying to over-enunciate or make short sentences. These are all things that I took notes on of what y'all said would indicate a person is intoxicated. You also said, well, a breath test or a blood test would help. not sure you're gonna see any of that. So I've pretty much given you an overview of everything you have. I will tell you one other thing. I'll tell you all the bad. So there's no surprises. He was speeding, wasn't weaving, going too fast, probably faster than you and I may go. You don't have to like everything you see. You may see him do things that you and I wouldn't do. But that's not driving while intoxicated. You gotta separate, well, I would have done that with what they have to prove, all those elements. Not having your normal mental faculties by reason of the introduction of alcohol, not having your normal physical faculties by the reason of introduction of alcohol, or to prove that you were a .08 or higher at the time you were driving. That's how they can prove it. You're gonna hear that, maybe, I'll just tell you, it's no big secret, that he was chewing gum, because that's something they asked. If he was here on trial for speeding and chewing gum, we would not be here, okay? We don't know if he was chewing gum before, we don't know if he was chewing gum when the cop pulled him over. All I know.
Tilly D, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I can confirm the judge is in fact eating Skittles right now.
Always think about it. You know, if you've been drinking the drink and you got pulled over, even if you weren't intoxicated, think about how you would feel. You might be nervous. I probably put a piece of gum in my mouth too. But even though he had gum in his mouth, it didn't mask. They were talking about masking. It didn't mask the odor of alcohol because the officer says he smelled alcohol. But I'll just tell you that right now because you're going to hear that he had gum in his mouth and he was speeding. And aside from that, there's not much else that is going to prove to you that he was driving while intoxicated, that he was intoxicated at all. Okay? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. All right, State, you want to call your first witness?
Yes, sure. The state calls Corporal Fleischer Casares.
Okay. Please. All right, officer, if you could please come up and stand. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes. And your testimony will be the truth? Yes. All right, please come on up. Take a seat. All right, I'm going to ask you to please speak loudly, clearly. If you hear the word objection, just stop. After it's been addressed, and we'll continue. Okay? Thank you. You may continue.
Good morning, officer. Could you please introduce yourself to the jury?
Hello, jury. My name is Deputy Fleischer Casares.
And then could you spell that for the report?
Yes, it will be CUICLAHUAC, which is a person. Last name is Casares, CAZARES.
You're obviously a police officer. With what agency do you work for?
I am employed with the Harris County Constables Precinct 2.
How long have you been at Precinct 2?
About 2 years.
What did you do before you were at Precinct 2?
I was a detective with Jacinto City
Okay.
Police Department.
How long have you been a police officer?
I've been a police officer for 19 years.
Okay. Before you were a police officer with Jacinto City, were you the entire time? Sorry, I'll rephrase it. For the entire time before, or when you were with Jacinto City, was that the entirety of your police career?
No, sir.
Okay. What did you do before Jacinto City?
I was at Port Houston Police Department for 13 years.
Okay. And then what was your educational background before you became a police officer?
I attended college for 1 year and then attended the academy, police academy.
That was
Please take
me.
it outside.
Sorry, Judge.
Okay.
You may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. What sort of training did you do to become a police officer?
I went through the academy and did my 2 hours, and then went into the test at Austin to receive my certification.
And you are a certified peace officer in the state of Texas, correct?
Yes, sir.
What is your current assignment?
I am a corporal for patrol.
And then on August 31st, 2023, what was your assignment?
I was toll road, Harris County toll road, traffic enforcement officer.
And what was the purpose of that assignment?
That assignment is to keep toll road safe for other passerbys, for speeding vehicles, racing vehicles, intoxicated drivers, and other duties that they use.
And when you say toll road, which toll road?
It's the southeast toll road, 45 between 45 and 288.
And how long were you at that assignment?
I was there for 1.5 years.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
As part of your assignment, were you trained on the enforcement of traffic law?
Yes, sir.
Specifically, have you had any specialized training pertaining to intoxicated drivers?
Yes, sir.
We're going to talk briefly about that training. What sort of certification or training do you have to receive as part of learning about the enforcement of traffic laws?
For those, you have to have the SFSC practitioner, which is a 24-hour training for detection of DWI and DUI.
And who certifies you for that? And in order to become certified, you have to do field training, classroom training, both?
Both, yes, sir.
Could you tell me about the classroom training?
The classroom training consisted of the standardized first writing testing. And it was a training also in the lab work where they had volunteers to come and drink alcoholic beverages, and we perform SFSTs on them.
Great. And you perform the SFSTs on sober people and drunk people?
Yes, sir.
We are the trolls.
Field training, what does that entail?
The training consists of cost of service entry, cost of service, traffic vehicle, and also making arrests.
Are you currently certified to administer the standard field sobriety tests?
Yes, sir.
When were you last certified?
That certification, I think, was March the 21st, 2022. Yes, sir. My last training was March 20th. Excuse me, December 20th, 2022, as a SFST practitioner of it.
Thank you, officer. Has all of this specialized training improved your ability to identify intoxicated drivers?
Yes, sir.
Great. So let's talk about how you identify intoxicated drivers. Have you conducted evaluations of people you have suspected to be intoxicated on many or few occasions?
Yes, sir.
Many or few?
Many.
And based on your training and experience, do you really need to be an expert in determining whether or not an individual is intoxicated?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So a layperson wouldn't be able to determine whether or not a person was intoxicated.
I don't think they would. I mean, even the mom could determine public service.
I mean, what do you mean a lay person can't tell if someone's intoxicated? That's like my job every day. Can I sell them one more drink?
So are you trained to arrest every single person you initially believe is intoxicated?
No, sir.
Why are some people let go?
As performing the SFSDs, the clues are not conclusive, so they are legal.
So the SFSTs show that they are sober. Briefly, let's talk about some of the classic signs of intoxication that a person can exhibit. Could you tell me what some of the classic signs are?
The classic signs, slurred speech, red bloodshot eyes. Sometimes they have glossy eyes.
Anything else you observe during a traffic stop that would indicate the driver would be intoxicated?
Usually, the melody effect. The melody effect.
What is that?
That is where the person is intoxicated, but he feels good, and the person is.
Your Honor, I'm going to respectfully object. I think that discussing the scientific theory of the Mellenby effect is outside the scope of this officer's area of expertise.
Response?
We'll move on, Judge.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, it'll be sustained. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. When you come across someone with these signs of intoxication, what are you trying to do?
Perform the SFSTs.
And do you just perform the SFSTs, or do you ask the person to perform the SFSTs?
I ask the person, usually I ask them, do they consent to it? And I give them an opportunity to consent to it.
Would you be able to force someone to perform the standard field sobriety tests?
No, sir.
Thank you. And what is the purpose of those standard field sobriety tests?
Is to understand the content of alcohol beverage within a person of intoxication.
Okay. We're going to direct our attention now to the night of August 31st, 2023. Were you on duty that night?
Yes, sir.
What shift were you working?
Night shift.
And what part of town were you assigned?
Southeast.
And when you were on duty, did you come in contact with someone by the name of Francisco Martinez?
Yes, sir.
Do you see that person in the courtroom today?
Yes, sir.
Can you identify him by a piece of clothing?
Mark, sir.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that the witnesses identified the defendant. Identified the defendant. I apologize, Your Honor.
Or was he yesterday?
Correct.
Or was he?
Casares, how did you first come in contact with the defendant?
My contact with the defendant was doing a traffic enforcement on the toll road.
Okay.
And
I'm sorry, continue.
I was doing traffic enforcement, looking for speakers, and I observed a silver Lexus traveling at high rate of speed, which is 100 miles an hour, and that's what initiated me to make contact.
Okay. And about, do you know the address of where you were on the toll road?
It was a 7100 block of the South San Houston toll road.
And that address is in Harris County, Texas?
Yes, sir.
On the night of the incident, were you wearing a body camera?
Yes, sir.
And was your police vehicle equipped with a dash camera?
Yes, sir, it is.
Right. Your Honor, may I approach the witness, please?
Yes, sir.
Officer Casares, I've handed you 3 exhibits. They're marked as state exhibits 1, 2, and 3. Do you recognize them?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a Starbucks Frappuccino. I think it's caramel, a caramel Starbucks Frappuccino.
How do you recognize them?
Recognize it for the dash cam, the videos from the dash cam and body cam.
And were they made near the time you came in contact with the defendant?
Yes, sir.
Have you watched them previously?
Yes, sir.
Or do they fairly and accurately represent the events that occurred that night?
Yes, sir.
If you turn them over, is that your signature on the back?
Yes, sir.
And obviously these videos were made on devices that were capable of making accurate recordings.
Correct, yes, sir.
Have they been altered in any way?
No, sir.
And then after the dash cam is recorded and the body cam is recorded, how is the tape preserved?
It's uploaded to the link on the Polaris system, utility camera.
Your Honor, the state would like to introduce, tender the exhibits to the defense.
So for any objection, or do you have any objection? Do you want to go take a look real quick?
If I could look at it.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, approach the.
It would still be wrong. You have to go yesterday, because you're in Australia. And Fozzie, I'm not the only one who hasn't been to sleep yet. So other people still think yesterday is today as well.
No objections.
So, hold on, what is number one?
Number one is the body worn camera, Your Honor.
Okay, body one camera. Number two is,
I'm sorry, number one is the dash cam, number two is the body worn camera.
okay,
Yes, it says on this. And then number three is the body worn camera that was made at the station.
okay, so which one did you want to play now?
Right now it would be the dash camera.
Okay, are you ready?
Permission to publish.
See, Chris knows. Thank you, Chris. It's still Sunday, Lori. That means it's still Sunday. Only when you have kids. Or when you're a server. Same. There. It's Wednesday. Or as everybody else calls it today. I I would have guessed Siobhan in Ireland instead of Scotland. But I'm really bad at names and geography together, obviously. Fight me. 1v1 me right now. Let's go. Let's go. It's Wednesday. They're trying, guys. They are really trying very hard to get what's on their computer to come up on that unreadable TV screen right there. Crayons. Michigan's not that far away. If we have a meetup, I might be able to swing it. But I'm not streaming that night.
Your Honor, the state would like to publish exhibit 1 from 00 to 1 minute and 21 seconds.
Okay.
Is that all?
They figured it out. Look at them go, the team of Logan and Pavel. IT demigods. Yes, sir. It does get a little spicy.
Officer Cazares? Keep your voice up. Sorry, Officer Cazares. Could you tell me what we just saw in the video?
Just saw the civil Lexus that was speeding 100 miles an hour.
How did you know he was traveling 100 miles per hour?
The monitor radar determined the speed.
Okay. Did Mr. What got your attention for Mr. Martinez's car?
The speed.
Okay. And what lane was his car in?
It was in lane number 1.
Okay, what is lane number 1?
The lane number 1, they count from inside. They count from 1 lane all the way to the outside lane.
So lane number 1 is the leftmost lane?
Yes.
And where was your car?
My car was on the right shoulder.
Then after you noticed his vehicle, what did you do next?
I initiated my emergency equipment.
And what type of car was Mr. Martinez's vehicle?
That was a silver Lexus.
And that is a motor vehicle?
Yes, sir.
And when you and what was the speed limit on the toll road?
It's posted 65 miles an hour.
And is driving at a at a speed of 100 miles per hour dangerous to the driver of the vehicle that's traveling at 100 miles per hour?
Yes, sir, as you saw, there was a second vehicle body, which could.
But to Mr. Martinez, is him traveling at 100 miles per hour dangerous to him himself?
Yes, sir.
What could happen if, in your experience, if someone's traveling at 100 miles per hour?
In my experience on the toll road, if you would have had a blowout, it would hit the wall.
Your Honor, sorry, I'm going to object. This is talking about speculation on things that could have happened that did not happen.
We'll move on, Your Honor.
Please.
All right, when you came up in, after you pulled over, Mr. Martinez, what happened next?
I observed that he pulled over to the left instead of over to the right.
Is it typical that people try to pull over to the left?
Not necessarily usually to the right.
Why should you pull over to the right instead of the left?
That's safer.
In what way?
Lane number one, we have a lot of speeding vehicles through there.
Okay, after the cars came to a stop, what did you do next?
I made contact with the driver.
And about what time was this?
It was about midnight.
Right, when you came into contact with the driver, where was Mr. Martinez?
He was in the driver's seat.
Was there anyone else in the car?
No, sir.
When you first made contact with Mr. Martinez, what was the first thing that you noticed?
The first thing I noticed that he had his driver's license and insurance card already sticking out outside his window, bouncing up and down.
For you to take it?
Yes, sir.
And what else did you notice?
I noticed that he had slush keys, red bloodshot eyes, and I noticed that he was leaning all the way back to where in his terms, he's not less impaired, but he feels good to where he made a decision to.
Objection, that calls for speculation on what Mr. Martinez was thinking and why he was leaning back.
Please move on, officer.
Stick to what you know, please.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I'd ask for a ruling on that objection, please. That's the speculation. And ask that if the court wouldn't mind instructing the jury to please disregard the last statement of the officer.
Did you smell anything, officer?
You certainly smell odor of alcohol.
And as to his speech, what was his speech like?
Short, quick answers.
And could you tell me about his eyes?
Yes, sir.
Could you tell me about his eyes?
Red bloodshot, droopy eyes.
Officer, how do you rule out that someone is sleepy or tired, or they might have come into a smoky environment, having an allergic reaction? How do you rule out those sorts of things?
The sort of things is how to rule them out is if they're tired, they will not drive when they're tired. I believe there's also an opportunity to where they can pull over and refresh themselves.
Generally, would the odor of alcohol eliminate the idea that this person is just tired?
Yes, sir.
Right, now, officer, did you ask Mr. Martinez if he had been drinking?
Yes, sir.
What did he say?
At first, he said he had several.
Then what did he say?
After that, he didn't say anything. I told him that I would come back with him.
Right, now, Your Honor, the state would move to publish Exhibit 2 from 2 minutes to 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Yeah, just play. Okay.
IT demigods, I tell you. IT demigods. I hope he's about to play Vines. I miss Vines. Hi, Mello.
Mr. Martinez, reach for something 100 miles an hour. You going to going home? Where you coming from? Over. 59? We had you drink that? Little bit? I'm just working in this little excuse me, sir.
Thank you. Officer, if we can turn your attention to the video you just saw. Could you tell us what you just saw?
Sure, Mr. Martinez, as I said, with the driver license and insurance already sticking out the window. Also observed him, shooting.
Did Mr. Martinez say where he was coming from?
He said 59.
And how far away was I-59 from where you were?
I'd say maybe about 12 miles, maybe.
And were there other vehicles on the road going by while you're approaching the vehicle?
Yes, sir.
Was it several vehicles?
Several vehicles.
Did Mr. Martinez admit to, did you ask him if he was drinking alcohol?
Yes, sir.
And what did he say there?
He said, several.
After this interaction, what did you do?
After that, I went back to my vehicle to see if he had any priors, driving while intoxicated.
And did you talk to anyone while you were in your vehicle?
No, sir.
What did you do after you were done being in your patrol vehicle?
After that, I made a decision to call my corporal at the time.
And what happened there?
I waited I actually went and spoke to the driver again.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I went back and spoke to the driver again.
Why did you reapproach the driver?
That's phase 3 of that's a guy.
So to continue the investigation?
Yes, sir.
And Your Honor, for the record, we're publishing State's Exhibit 2 at the 6-minute 30 mark.
Martinez, how much do you have to take alcohol services? One. You know, I'm asking, I can tell the alcohol, okay? Maybe some vehicle, so you can do this right there, real quick. No? You don't do this right there? Okay. Right, I understand it, but you have to agree with it, right?
Officer, what did that video show?
I show that the defendant refused, to commit a fixed right test
Why didn't you ask him to perform the standard field sobriety tests?
because of the alcohol. I thought very soon.
Did you perform these tests multiple times?
Yes, sir.
What did the field sobriety tests, what information would they have given you?
Limited content of alcohol of the impairment.
And if you had performed the standard field sobriety tests and the defendant showed that he was sober, would you have let him go?
Yes, sir.
Did the defendant say anything to you while you were conducting your investigation on that video?
He did tell me something irrelevant that he was with his drinking buddies or military buddies.
And did he admit to drinking during that portion of the video?
Yes, he did.
After you concluded your interaction that was shown in that video, what did you do next?
I went back to my unit to contact my corporal at the time, so he can assist me with the traffic control.
Okay. And we're going to get briefly into what the standard field sobriety tests are. Okay, oh, no, never mind, we're going to skip that. Did you return back to the to Mr. Martinez's vehicle after you spoke with your corporal?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Could you tell me what happened?
Once my corporal arrived, I approached the vehicle and asked Mr. Martinez to step out of the vehicle. And I was investing for suspicion of that.
Okay. Thank you, sir. We're going to turn our attention to another video. Your Honor, the state would like to publish Exhibit 2 from 12 minutes and 20 seconds to 13 minutes and 30 seconds. Officer, could you tell us what that view showed? And officer, were you in contact with the person, with Mr. Martinez's body during?
Yes,
Could you feel anything from Mr. Martinez's?
when he stepped out the vehicle, he stumbled a little bit, so I felt that I needed to keep him close to me, just in case he would stumble and fall.
Was his gait standard while you were escorting him to the police car?
I could feel him pulling like if it was, moving forward.
Now, Officer Martinez, we'll address the finality of the circumstances. Just because a person has a strong odor of alcohol in their breath, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're intoxicated, correct?
Correct.
And if you notice that someone has red, glassy eyes, alone, that doesn't indicate that they're intoxicated, correct?
Correct.
And if someone only has slurred speech, that doesn't necessarily mean they're intoxicated.
No, correct.
And if they have poor balance, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're intoxicated if they only exhibit poor balance.
Correct.
As an officer, if someone refuses to perform the standard field sobriety test, does that necessarily mean that they're intoxicated?
I believe they're hiding evidence for intoxication.
Officer, you've had many, you've observed, have you observed intoxicated persons on few or many occasions?
Yes, sir.
Few or many?
Many.
Okay. And did Mr. Martinez exhibit some of the same signs of intoxication?
Yes, sir, he did.
He didn't just exhibit one sign?
No, sir.
Great. And as an officer, have you seen other defendants refuse to perform the standard field sobriety tests?
Yes, sir.
Have you seen other defendants who you would suspect of being intoxicated chew on gum or eat mints?
So, yes, sir.
And so why didn't you just write Mr. Martinez a ticket for speeding that night?
If he would have performed the SFSTs, I would have determined that he was intoxicated or not. If he wasn't intoxicated, performing the SFSTs, I would have given him a citation.
Could you determine if Mr. Martinez, without the SFSTs, could you determine if Mr. Martinez was safe to be put onto the road?
No, sir.
After you detained Mr. Martinez, what did you do next?
I transported him to the Harris County Joint Processing Center.
Your Honor, we approach.
Sidebar.
Object to the legality of the arrest because he puts him in handcuffs and he does say that he's in custody and he actually calls it in custody for DWI at that point when he's like on the car, and he just answered that and he said, did you believe that you had determined that he was intoxicated or however he asked the question, and he said no, I didn't, so I don't think there's enough probable cause for an arrest at this point, based on his testimony.
Let's keep going.
Because that's the point of the arrest, though, right there.
Refusal of the SFST is going to act as evidence for a probable cause for an arrest.
This may be instruct the witness to quit shaking his head in front of the jury while we're talking.
This may be more appropriate conversation.
Right. So let's do this outside of the presence, not right now.
Okay.
I want them.
But the next
I just didn't know he was going to say that right then. That's the only
We
reason.
can bring it up a little bit later, but I'm gonna let you finish.
Okay, sounds good.
The next step is,
Yes,
How much more do you have left?
just letting you guys know that.
okay, so, okay.
Thank you, officer. After you put Mr. Martinez in the back of the police car, what did you do next?
I transported Mr. Martinez to the Harris County Joint Processing Center.
Based on your training and experience and everything you observed on August 31st, 2023, did you form an opinion as to whether or not Mr. Martinez had lost his normal use of his physical faculties?
Yes, sir.
What was that opinion?
Speed.
Okay. Anything else?
The slur speech, right, bloodshot eyes.
Based on your training and experience and everything you observed on August 31st, 2023, did you form an opinion as to whether or not Mr. Martinez had lost the normal use of his mental faculties?
Yes, sir.
And what did you base that opinion on?
On, when he said, I'm coming from 59, I didn't understand if it was a freeway 59 or a restaurant 59 or anything like that.
Anything else?
No.
And what was that opinion?
What's that?
What was the opinion that you came to?
It was intoxicated.
that I asked you, that he lost the normal use, did you form an opinion as to whether or not he lost the normal use of his mental faculties?
Yes.
And based on your opinion, or based on your training and experience and everything you observed on that night, have you formed an opinion as to whether or not the defendant was driving while intoxicated?
Yes.
And what was that opinion? But what was the opinion?
That he refused the right test.
What was your opinion as to whether or not he was intoxicated?
But he refused the yes of the seat.
Did you believe he was intoxicated?
Objection, that's been asked and answered several times.
Overruled. Let me try to answer.
And in your opinion, what was the source of the defendant's impairment?
Whiskey.
No, the source of the impairment.
Alcohol.
Okay.
Alcohol beverage.
When you got to a JPC, did you read the defendant any warnings regarding the giving of a breath or blood sample?
Yes, I read the DSC 24, the statutory warning.
Was this caught on camera?
Yes, it was.
Your Honor, state requests permission to publish Exhibit 3 previously answered. Okay.
One minute.
No donuts in Harris County.
Yes.
Your other mentor, the pronouncing correction of the activity have been committed on the for one you will be asked to give a specimen in the practice. Specimen will be analyzed until we call. Substance drug is the drug or substance in the body. You need to give a specimen using the initial institutional prosecution. The license permit privilege of the motor vehicle is currently not 180 days. Whether or not you are subsequently prosecuted for the office. You receive the taking of this specimen must be if you have 21 years of age or older, you can take on this person. You want to take the children, you Zero point zero eight one one, the license permit for this or one vehicle is recorded for 90 days. Over or not, is subsequently prosecuted. If you have younger than 21 years of age, the license permit for privilege to operate motor vehicles is suspended or revoked for not then 0.08 may be sufficient. Not provided on the 49 appeal. These are the taking of the person being taken to serve according to Article 3 of Courtroom proceeding. If you are operating motor vehicle, you need to see the assessment of the license should be in full concentration of you will be disqualified from driving to issue motor vehicle for a period of non-employee. You may request a hearing on the suspension or denial. This request must be received by the State Department of Transportation and the 15 days of the received or assumed to have received notice of suspension or denial. The request will be made by the fact or other on the department. I certify that I have informed both order and in writing of the consequences of the use of the expression or provided expression. I certify that I have requested the signature below acknowledging the voluntary consent of the expression. I certify I have provided you with a complete and true copy of this expression. I will not question the expression of No.
Officer, what is the DIC 24 form?
The DIC
Before he goes into that, all right. So the whole sidebar thing. The sidebar thing is for the lawyers to duke it out with the judge where the jury cannot hear. And what they said in here is, even at the sidebar, Pavel was like, look, we can't do this part in front of the jury. So I can't remember if it gets to the point or not, but what they would do when they're saying we can't do this in front of a jury, we need to argue this out, they make the jury leave. The lawyers go back to their corners, and then in open court, they duke out these issues with each other in front of the judge. Everybody can hear it. Everybody can hear this going on except for the jury. The jury's in the other room. So I don't think I have a problem with the sidebar not being muted on that. The jury can't hear it, unless they're on YouTube, which they're not allowed to be. But what they agreed to do at this sidebar was to go back to their corners and duke it out publicly once the jury's out of the room. So yeah, I don't think I have a problem with the sidebar not being muted. We were going to hear it anyway.
Did you inform the defendant of the consequences of refusing a breath or blood test?
Yes, I did.
What are those consequences?
The driver license suspension for 180 days, and a refusal will be used against him in court.
Did you inform? So you informed the defendant that his refusal to provide a sample of his breath and/or blood could be used as evidence in a criminal trial against him?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness with the exhibit? Yes. Your Honor, provided the witness a copy of what's previously been marked as exhibit number 4. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
Could you tell me what it is?
It's a section for one.
Is it the DIC 24?
Yes, sir, the DIC.
Is it a true and correct copy of the same warnings that you read to the defendant that night?
Yes, sir, it is.
Has it been altered in any way?
No, sir.
Was it made at or near the time the events we're discussing?
Yes, sir.
Was it made in the ordinary course of business of the Constable 2's, Constable Precinct 2's police department?
Yes, sir.
Did you provide a copy to the defendant that night?
Yes, sir.
Is there a place where Mr. Martinez can sign it?
Yes, sir.
Did he sign it?
No, sir.
Did you sign it?
I did.
Okay. And it has not been altered in any way?
No, sir.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to tender the exhibit number 4 to defense counsel and offer it for publishing to the jury.
Okay.
I have an objection based on what we discussed, and if it's okay with the court, kind of approach or.
No, let's just keep continuing so we can be efficient and you can raise your arguments later on. I'll allow it for now. I'm gonna admit it, but come on, let's keep going.
Whatever. Officer Casares, what happened after you read, Mr. Martinez, the statutory warrants?
I contacted the DA to draft the blood warrant.
Did you request a sample of his blood?
Yes.
So even knowing that if you refuse to provide a breath or blood sample for the test, the refusal would be used as evidence in court as intoxication, the defendant still refused?
Yes, sir.
And then what happened after you refused?
After he refused, I contacted the Harris County DA's office and spoke to the DA to draft the warrant, blood warrant.
Your Honor, may I actually just with Mr. Visler Martinez gives a bit of time? Thank you, Officer. I provided you with what has been marked as State's Exhibit 5. Could you, do you recognize that?
Yes, sir.
Could you tell me what it is?
This is the search warrant.
Okay. Is it a true and correct copy of the same search warrant that you received from the magistrate that night?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is it signed by a magistrate?
Yes, sir, it is.
Is it a fair and accurate representation of the search warrant from the night of August 30th, 2023?
Yes, sir.
Me
Has it been
too.
altered in any way?
No, sir.
Your Honor, the state would move to admit State's Exhibit number 5 in standard to defense.
Counsel, please.
I don't need to look at it, I've seen it, but I still have to make an objection based on no probable cause. According to the officer's testimony, he stated earlier about when he made his decision for an arrest.
Okay. Overrule for the opinion.
Your Honor, may I publish it to the jury? Thank you.
But do it that way so it's more efficient.
We're gonna try.
I wish we could hear just a little better and people would stop slamming things around.
Officer Casares, after you,
Who else is having flashbacks of college right now? I need my pen and paper. I need to take notes.
gave the search warrant, was it signed?
Yes, sir, it was.
Who signed it?
Judge Darrell Scott.
And what time was it signed?
01:15.
And what happened after the search warrant was signed?
I presented the search warrant to which the technician,
And who was the HPD technician?
Christopher Rance.
And what did he do?
He, executed the warrant.
And how did he execute the warrant?
We took the defendant to, a control room technician, I think was technician one. And he helped me execute the warrant, for the,
And that's a sterile environment?
yes, sir.
Your Honor, may I approach with State's Exhibit 7, 8, 9, and 10? Okay.
Looks like the judge specified it.
Officer, do you recognize what those are?
Yes, sir.
Could you tell the jury what those?
Those are two house of the,
Okay. And how many different exhibits did I hand you?
4.
On those vials of blood, do you see your initials anywhere?
Yes, sir. Oh, on number 4.
Okay. And do you recognize those vials of blood, those photographs to be photographs of the same 2 vials of blood?
Yes, sir.
I'll take those back right now. Thank you, officer. Thank you, Your Honor. The state will pass the witness.
So that now it's what, 11:02. Okay, Mr. Flood, you ready?
I'm sorry, did the state pass?
State pass witness. It's
All
your-
right. Yes, I'm ready, Judge.
Okay.
So where to begin? You saw the video that we all watched of you approaching Mr. Martinez, right?
Yes, sir.
And despite your insistence on what you're telling, well, you told the jury that you asked him how much he had to drink, or if he had been drinking, right? That he admitted he had.
Yes, sir.
It's not illegal to drink alcohol and then drive if you're not intoxicated, right?
Correct.
Are you a drinker?
No, sir.
You don't drink any alcohol?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you think everybody that drinks alcohol and then drives is guilty of DWI?
No, sir.
So you said you were out that night as a speed, to look for speeders?
It was a traffic enforcement, yes, sir.
I think you said you were out there looking for speeders
Yes,
and also drunk drivers.
yes, sir.
So you were like the speeding and drunk driving enforcer that night.
Correct.
Are you familiar with the saying that when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail?
True.
So that was kind of your role that night. You were out there looking for, I mean, it was the night shift.
Yes,
You're
sir.
looking for people to arrest or pull over for DWI, right?
Correct.
And you happen to find someone who looked like a nail. He was speeding and you smelled an odor of alcohol, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, you wrote an office report in this case, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you wrote that close in time to when this happened, right?
Correct.
You bring a copy of that with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I saw you kind of looking down earlier. It's okay to refresh your memory
Mm-hmm.
because I know it was a little time ago, but can I just ask you, you don't read directly from it
Correct.
word for word, but I mean, if you say, hey, do you mind if I refresh my memory? That's fine. Okay.
Okay.
You stated that you smelled an odor of alcohol on his breath.
Yes, sir.
And that was when the state was asking you questions right here.
Mhm.
You didn't say I smelled a strong odor of alcohol.
Correct.
You didn't say I smelled a heavy odor of alcohol. You just said I smelled an odor of alcohol,
Okay.
right?
Yes, sir.
You could have said, when they said, what did you smell? You could have said I smelled a strong or heavy odor of alcohol on his breath, right?
That's correct.
But you did not say that.
That's correct.
But you'd agree with me anyway, though, that just having the odor of alcohol on your breath, it doesn't That doesn't prove a person's intoxicated.
That's correct.
Everybody knows that, right?
Yes, sir.
It doesn't even tell you how much alcohol a person has consumed, right?
That's correct.
Even if you said a strong odor of alcohol, that doesn't mean that, well, that person's really consumed a ton of alcohol, right?
Correct.
Okay, so he admitted to drinking. You smelled the odor of alcohol. That makes sense, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Him drinking and him admitting to it and you smelling it, that doesn't mean he was intoxicated though, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, I don't know who's, I mean, I'm 53, my hearing's not what it used to be, but he didn't say I had several. We didn't hear that. Are you telling the jury that that's what you heard? How old are you?
I'm 50.
Do you wear hearing aids?
No, sir.
Do you have trouble hearing? Has any of your family?
Sometimes in a close room, yes.
Okay. Ever family members ever said something like that? Like they have to me, that you have to repeat themselves?
But sometimes.
After listening to it, I think once or twice, are you still trying to, I mean, you know you're under oath here, right?
Yes, sir.
And you're still telling these folks here that we all heard that he said, I had several drinks? Or do you want to change that answer now? Just tell us the truth. He never said several drinks.
Okay, correct. Yes, sir.
Well, why, I mean, they got this man charged with a criminal offense. You understand that?
Mhm.
If you were charged or a family member, would you want an officer up there not telling the truth to a jury?
Well, in.
Objection,
No,
Your
no,
Honor?
sir.
No, sir. Is that your answer?
No, sir.
So why is it okay for you to do that? You said it wasn't the truth.
No, I never said that, sir.
Did he say several drinks?
He said a few, yes.
Did he say, I had several drinks, like you testified to under oath 2 times?
That has an answer, Judge.
Overruled. Which is it? Because you just said no, he didn't say that.
No, he said a few.
Is that fair to exaggerate facts or to tell the jury things that are not true?
No, because a few means several.
But he never said several. He never said a few. You know, you play it again? I'll play it as many times as you want. Can you, if I played it again, can you point out to the jury where he said I had a few drinks? Officer, look, I'm not trying to trick you.
Mhm.
This is important. We want to be fair, right?
Yes, sir.
We want to be fair, right?
Mhm.
Your job's too important to not tell the truth under oath, isn't it?
That's correct.
I mean, is it that important that you've got to exaggerate and make up things that aren't true just to try to convict this guy?
No, I'm not trying to convict nobody.
Well, then why aren't you telling the truth to the jury? We all heard it.
The video showed the truth.
Right. The video shows the truth.
Yes, sir.
You asked him if he had been drinking.
Yes, sir.
He said a little bit. Right?
I need to go back and see the video.
Really? It's not important to you? Did you watch the video before
Yes, I
testifying?
did, sir. Yes.
You did.
Yes, sir.
Did you get a subpoena from the state to be here for this
Yes.
trial? I love the court reporter, Ramona. She will yell at me if we talk over each other, okay? She can only write down one person at a time. I get it, you know what I'm asking, but would you mind waiting until I finish before you answer? Because both of you and I will get in trouble. All right? I just wanted to be clear about what happened, and we have the video, and then we have what you're saying the video said. Those don't match up, do they? Yes or no? Is what you told the jury match up with what is on the video?
No,
How is that okay? That's not okay. You went up to him and you asked him, have you been drinking? And he said a little bit, right? I will play the video again. It's in evidence. Do I need to, or will you just agree with me that that's the truth? Because if you're not going to agree with me that that's the truth, you want me to play it again?
sure.
You guys mind? Help me drive.
Remind me, he's been an officer for 19 years in Harris County, and he was an officer before then, and he's certified in DUIs?
Somebody spoke.
This is a 3-minute capital thing, that's what we're asking.
What do you mind?
Yeah. I don't just want it.
You can skip past the stop. So,
Yeah, it smells like smoke. I don't know what it is. They're going to investigate it now.
Officer Caceres, I want to show you the two interactions that you had with Mr. Martinez at his driver's side window, okay?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm not going to play everything, but if there's a part that you'd like for me to play, will you ask me to show that part?
Sure.
I don't want to make it look like I'm leaving anything out, okay?
Okay.
And I don't know if the volume can go higher than child.
Your Honor, for the record, that's State's Exhibit 2 at the 2-minute, 34-second mark.
Is it okay? Mr. Martinez, he's for truck 100 miles an hour. Going home? Where you coming from? Where? 59? We got anything to drink tonight? Little bit?
You stop right there. What, you said, how much did he have to drink? Have he had anything to drink? What did he say?
A little bit.
A little bit. He didn't say a few, correct?
Correct.
He did not say several, correct? Okay. So that's not a part of this case.
Correct.
Go ahead. Thank you.
Excuse me, sir.
And 6 minutes and 30 seconds.
Well, yeah, yes, you did. Skip forward, I'm sorry.
And Your Honor, for the record, this is 6 minutes, 33 seconds. State's Exhibit 2. 6:32.
Repeat it. How much did you have to drink alcohol during? One. Okay. You know what I'm asking, I can tell the alcohol.
You came back to the vehicle, you asked him again, how much have you had to drink tonight? And he said, 1. And you said, are you sure? He said, yeah. He didn't say a few, right? He never said several, correct?
Correct.
Is there anywhere else on the video that he said a few or several?
No, there's a part of the video where it says honestly, yeah.
I'm sorry?
There's a part of the video where he says honestly,
He said,
yes. Honestly, yes.
yeah.
Or yeah.
Well, that's why I wanted to show you what the state showed you. And the answers that you gave don't match up with what Mr. Martinez said, right?
Correct.
Okay. We heard you asking 2 times about drinking. Did he ever say he had a few or several?
No, sir.
But why would you come to court under oath and tell the jury that? Why? That's, may I approach the witness, Your Honor? I've got copies of your offense
Don't
report.
punch him. Be nice.
I'd like to show them to you. I don't know what you have, but, you wrote in your office report, right, that you asked the driver if he had any alcoholic beverages, right? We heard that. That's the whole purpose of that on body cam, right? So we see the truth. That's the truth.
Right.
Not what you're saying, right? Right?
Yes, sir. Right.
And he stated, what did you write? He had only one, and you put O-N-E, and then you put parentheses and the number one in there to make sure that there was no confusion in your office report that he said he had one drink. You never wrote anywhere that he had a few or several, or that he came back later and said, well, honestly, I have more to drink. Is that it anywhere in there?
No, sir.
Is this the kind of police work that you are used to getting away with doing?
No, sir.
So you don't get away with this all the time?
No.
Or you do get away with it all the time?
No.
Yes or no? Do you get away with writing false office reports?
Let's move on.
On the back, you write again that you asked the driver if he had any alcoholic beverages. That's like 2 places. And he stated that he had only one.
Yes, sir.
And you wrote the number 1, O-N-E,
Yes, sir.
and then you put parentheses, the number 1. Period. Anything about that I misrepresented?
No, sir.
I'm not misrepresenting things to the jury, am I?
No, sir.
You approached the vehicle and he was holding his license and insurance out the window.
Yes, sir. Correct.
You were going to ask him for that, right?
Yes, sir.
How in the world is that a sign of intoxication? You said he was bouncing it?
Yes, sir.
That's a sign of intoxication.
And usually drivers.
Is that a sign of intoxication,
No,
yes
sir.
or no?
No,
Then why are you here trying to tell the jury that it is?
I never said that.
Do you remember 10 minutes ago when they were asking you questions and you said he was bouncing his license and you were trying to insinuate that that was weird or some,
That was an observation.
right, about like his mental or physical faculties?
Yes, sir.
So, okay. You talked about NHTSA, right?
Yes, sir.
I know this isn't the manual you received, but National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, that's NHTSA, right?
Yes, sir.
That's an acronym that stands for the federal agency that is the authoritative body on how to administer field sobriety tests, right?
Correct.
And they give you an arsenal of 3 tools, 3 tests. There's an eye test, the horizontal gaze, nystagmus, right?
Yes, sir.
You know the name of the other 2?
Yes. Walk and turn, one extent.
Okay. 3 tests that you can use to administer, and as you said, to determine if a person is intoxicated or not, right?
Wait, is the alphabet not part of it anymore? Did they just completely? Because I still see videos of the alphabet. It's how I learned my letters, by watching the drunk people try to say the alphabet without singing it.
Yes, sir.
And that's what you were intending to do. You smelled alcohol. You asked him if he would do those sobriety tests,
Yes, sir.
and he said no. People have the right to refuse those tests, right?
Correct.
And he invoked that right.
Okay.
He thought about it. He made a conscious decision and said no, right?
Yes, sir.
Which he has the right to do.
Yes, sir.
Now, what you decide to do if somebody refuses, that
Hold on there, sir. Guys, tomorrow when Legal Fiction comes in, can we all just say hi to him by something close to his real name, but not his real name? Can we just all do that? Can we all creatively say hello to legal tomorrow in different ways? Let's do this.
That's up to you, right?
Yes, the National
Correct.
Highway Traffic.
It's up to you. Objection, that's non-responsive, Your Honor. I asked a yes or no question.
Both of you guys are, it's, just don't get hostile. Ask the question, let him answer it. That's it.
Objection, non-responsive.
What's your question?
I said, if he refuses or submits what you, well, if he refuses, what you decide to do next is up to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
So you intended to perform those tests, as you stated, to determine if he was intoxicated or not, right?
Correct.
But you were not able to perform those tests to determine if he was intoxicated or not, correct? Okay. You stated that, so in your training, you went through, you received a manual about the standardized field sobriety test, right?
Yes, sir.
And that talks about the history of alcohol in the country, administration of the field sobriety tests, but also a whole list, a litany of signs about how a person's driving that could also indicate intoxication, right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, there's 100 different clues they list that say if a person's driving like this, that could mean they're intoxicated.
Correct.
Did you know that speeding has never been one of those signs?
This is speed.
Speeding. Did you know that speeding has never been listed as one of those signs?
It says speed and braking.
Is everybody that's speeding intoxicated?
No, sir.
Only at night,
No,
when you're
sir.
out there looking for drunk drivers?
I'm not looking for anyone.
Well, that's not what you said earlier, is it? You said you were out there looking for speeders and drunk drivers.
No, I was doing traffic enforcement.
Mr. Martinez, there's no evidence that he was swerving, correct?
No, sir.
You didn't testify to that, right?
No, sir.
You testified to everything you observed about his driving to the jury,
Yes, sir.
which would indicate that you thought he might be intoxicated, right? You didn't keep anything back, right? He wasn't running red lights, stop signs, swerving all over the road, right?
No, but he did a moving violation. Yes, sir.
Right, we all know he was speeding.
Correct.
That doesn't prove a person is intoxicated, right?
No, sir.
I don't know if you saw your radar in there, but all those people that were, well, when you pulled him over, there was nobody around them. There were a few other cars that passed. Your radar kept going like 77, well over the speed limit.
Yes, sir.
All those people intoxicated just because they're speeding?
No, sir.
Okay. We know that that was a traffic violation.
Yes, sir.
Was there anybody that called in, like to 911, there's a drunk driver out there,
No, sir.
with respect to Mr. Martinez?
No, sir.
So other than just driving fast, there was nothing else about him driving that indicated to you intoxication?
No, sir.
Okay. When you pulled over, some people who are intoxicated, they keep driving for a long time before they pull over, right?
Yes, sir.
It shows slow reaction time, right?
Yes, sir.
There's nothing about how he acted that showed a slow reaction time. He put his blinker on, he pulled over, right?
Yes, sir.
Nothing about the way he pulled over indicated intoxication, correct?
No, sir, but he did straddle the yellow line.
Yeah, we heard you say that.
Mhm.
Your opinion, because he pulled over to the left instead of the right,
Yes, sir.
that's not how you wanted him to pull over, right?
That's a safety.
Did you get on your bullhorn and say, driver, pull over to the right shoulder?
No, sir.
You could have, right?
Yes, but due to the
Yes?
lanes, say yes, sir.
You could have told him where you wanted him to pull over.
Yes, sir. I could.
But you followed him, you put his blinker on, pulled over to the left, and that's where you stopped him. And then Officer Ponce, or was he your corporal at the time?
Yes, sir.
He actually showed up after you and he helped block the scene,
Correct.
block that lane so it was safe.
Yes, sir.
He was out on the scene as well,
After the fact, yes, sir.
and he observed Mr. Martinez as well, correct?
Correct.
Now, I don't know how closely you watched the video, but you know that there's more things that you said that are not true when the state asked you questions. Do you know what those are?
We're gonna find out, I think.
Well, I mean, you wrote in, and you have your offense report, and Officer Ponce wrote a supplement, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And Officer Ponce, is that how you pronounce his name, Ponce?
Absolutely.
He wrote what he observed of Mr. Martinez, right?
Correct.
You stated to the jury that you observed Mr. Martinez chewing gum.
That's correct.
Okay. Look through your offense report and point out the place anywhere in there where it says that you observed Mr. Martinez chewing gum.
No, I didn't have it to my report, no, sir.
It's because you didn't notice that. Officer Ponce did. Officer Ponce comes out and he even, so you told the jury, they said, what else did you observe? I observed Mr. Martinez chewing gum. And then that was a sign he was masking, hiding that he was intoxicated.
Yes, sir.
Really? Really?
Yes, sir.
Officer, you didn't even know he had gum in his mouth. Officer Ponce comes out. I mean, eventually you did, because Officer Ponce told you, right?
No, I didn't notice the chewing gum.
Where is it in your offense report? Show me, just show me. Where's it on the video that you observed gum in his mouth? Officer Ponce comes out. He asks you, did you watch this part? He asks you, does he have gum in his mouth? And you said, I don't think so.
It's a hearsay at that point. He's asking about another person. He's not going to hear it. It's all.
This goes towards credibility, Judge, what he testified to earlier.
Friday's
He's asking about
Frank.
somebody else's statement.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I mean, I can ask what happened. That's,
There's your question.
you weren't, you didn't notice gum in his mouth. The other officer asked you and notified you. He had gum in his mouth, right?
He did, but I said, yes.
Right. And at first you weren't aware. And then Officer Ponce goes up to the car and tells Mr. Martinez, open your mouth, right?
We all know what the judge is thinking by now. We're pretty much done.
Mm-hmm.
You saw that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Officer Ponce looks in Mr. Martinez's mouth and he says, spit your gum out. You're not allowed to have gum in a patrol car, right?
Correct.
You didn't have any part of that. If Officer Ponce hadn't even observed it or asked him to open his mouth, you would have never known. But you're here today representing things to the jury that they're totally not true. I mean, the gum's an insignificant part, right? I mean, you're not trying to convict a person because he had gum in his mouth for DWI, right?
I'm not trying to make anyone.
You're not. So you're here like testifying in a neutral capacity? Or are you biased against Mr. Martinez?
I'm biased, no one.
Unbiased.
I'm biased, no one.
So you're here in a neutral capacity.
I'm here just representing.
Okay, so if the jury, it's who decides whether or not it's guilty or not guilty? You or the jury?
I believe the jury.
Right. When you arrest a person, that doesn't mean that they're guilty of an offense, right?
That's correct.
You just had probable cause. I mean, it sounds like there may be a question about whether you even had probable cause, right?
Just a little repeat.
Sure, that's a legal conclusion at that point.
He was earlier making legal conclusions, was he not? Overruled.
I guess my point is that probable cause, you smell alcohol, you pull someone off the road, it's probably a safe thing to do, right?
Yes, sir.
If the jury says they don't think that it was proved in this case, they can say not guilty, right?
That's correct.
And nothing would happen to you professionally in your job if they said not guilty, right?
That's correct.
And since you're neutral and not biased against Mr. Martinez, whatever the jury decides, you would be completely fine with, correct? You said you're not here trying to convict them. If they said not guilty, you should be completely fine with that.
That's correct.
That's correct.
Mhm.
So it's fine for whatever the jury decides, you'll be totally fine with.
Okay, that's an answer.
No, I'm curious as to, was there slurred speech? Were there bloodshot eyes? I'd like to know about the indicia of intoxication.
That's about where I was going next, Judge.
So
I'll get there, sorry. Yep.
get on it, doggone
You- So let's talk about that. The state kind of concluded by they asked you, which is typical, did you form an opinion about whether or not Mr. Martinez was intoxicated?
Yes, sir.
And you said, well, first of all, you said that he had slurred speech.
Yes, sir.
I mean, there's like less than 1 minute, maybe, or a minute of you talking to him. We don't hear any slurred speech on the video. I'm sorry.
I heard it.
On the video.
Yeah.
Seriously?
On the video when I was there.
You said you had quick answers? I mean, what's the opposite of that? Having slow answers?
Sir, quick answers to stay quiet. Yes, sir.
Well, if he was responding slowly, you'd say he was intoxicated because he had a slow reaction time in responding to your questions.
I never said he was intoxicated. I said he had signs of intoxication.
You never said that you thought he was intoxicated. That's the point. Because when the state asked you, what did you think about him? You said, I thought he didn't have his mental faculties, right?
Yes, sir.
And they said, why did you think that? And you said, because he said, I'm coming from 59.
Yes, sir.
Perfectly clear. We could all hear it. No slur speech. No speeding it out with a quick answer. Perfectly legible. I'm coming from 59. And that means that he didn't have his mental faculties?
The answer that he gave.
From 59.
Yes, sir.
That's what you're saying is evidence that he didn't have his mental faculties.
Yes, sir.
I think you said because he didn't say I was coming from a restaurant or a bar, you wanted him to say he was, I mean, whatever. And that's something you based your decision to take him into custody on?
No, sir.
Well, when the state asked you, what did you base your decision on? And that was one thing you said, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Physical faculties, you stated that his balance was bad.
He stumbled when he stepped out of the car. Yes, sir.
Where? It's like we're watching two different videos. Where was his balance bad? Where did he stumble? Did we ever see that?
Yes, he did.
We did?
When he was coming out of the vehicle, he kind of like stumbled.
Dude, the guy gets out of the vehicle, he turns around like this and puts his hand on the car. Where in the world could he stumble in 1.5 foot space? He did not stumble.
I do it all the time.
That's what I observed.
I'm sorry?
That's what I observed.
You saw him stumble from the time he got out of the car to put
Yes,
his.
sir.
You had a dash camera too that was in your car. So if he stumbled, there's a whole other camera that would show that, right?
Yes, sir.
Why didn't we see that? Why don't we see something that shows what you say is true?
That's not the real percent.
Whose job is it?
Unless,
I think you're putting them in a bad spot, don't you think? They're trying to prove what you say is true, but they can't.
Mhm.
Don't you see that? They can't prove that
We all see
that
it.
he said he had several drinks or a few drinks. They can't prove that. You're making their job very hard. You get that?
Mhm.
Is there something else you want to give them to help them prove that you're telling the jury the truth?
But it's all there.
It's all there.
Yes, sir.
None of us just see it. It's all there. He had glasses on when he was sitting in the driver's seat. You see that? But you're saying that you noticed he had glossy eyes
Yes, sir.
in the few seconds you looked at him?
Yes, sir.
Did you know that, glossy eyes is not a sign of intoxication at all?
No, sir, it's not.
You agree with me? Are you agreeing? I don't know. Look, I don't know what you're agreeing to or what you're not. Are you agreeing with me that I'm right, or are you arguing with me that I'm wrong?
No, red bloodshot eyes is as glossy eyes.
I didn't ask that. I said glossy eyes through his glasses. Did you know that according to your NHTSA training, all the clues, glossy eyes are not a sign of intoxication?
That's right.
So you're agreeing with me?
Yes, sir.
So why in the world would you write that and try to tell the jury that's another sign of intoxication you're telling them? It doesn't even prove intoxication. Why? Why are you doing
I
this?
never said that glossy eyes proves intoxication.
Okay. Maybe glossy eyes doesn't prove alcohol intoxication, but isn't that like a sign of drug? I mean, that's definitely DWI, but I guess if he's charged for DUI, then it doesn't matter.
They asked you to list. We're taking notes over here, right? You see us over here, we're writing things down. They asked you what signs, more than one time. Slurred speech, which we didn't hear. Glossy eyes. You said that.
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying now you didn't say it?
No, I said it.
Okay. You know that's a vital sign of people being alive. You have liquid on your eyes. If you don't, there's a real problem.
Mm-hmm.
You ever thought about it that way?
Not medical.
Well, then why are you trying to tell these folks that there's things that you probably didn't even see and trying to tell them that meant he was intoxicated? Doesn't sound like you're being real fair or neutral to me.
I never said that he was intoxicated.
You never did.
No, sir. The only thing that I
But
said
you
was
put
that
him
he
in-
refused the SFSTs, which that proved to me that he was intoxicated, hiding evidence of intoxication.
Okay, you never said he was intoxicated, but he refused the SFSTs and that said he was intoxicated. I'm just repeating what you just said. You know, have you ever heard the saying, if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember what your answers were, or you don't have to remember what you said?
Right, that's correct.
Objection.
They kept asking you to tell us your opinion about what did you base your decision on, and you cited 59 for mental faculties, physical faculties. I mean, we didn't see any stumbling. Glossy eyes are not a sign of intoxication. I think you even said droopy eyes, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
I wrote that down.
Yes, sir.
For God's sake, show me where you wrote droopy eyes in any of your offense reports, probable cause affidavit, blood warrant. You called it in on your MDTs. Show me one place where you said when you wrote this offense report after this arrest that he had droopy eyes. Show me.
Listen in the report, no, sir.
First time ever today. You just thought you'd throw that in there?
No, sir.
Well, you did. You did. Yes, you did. You just decided you would throw that in there. Because you did throw it in there.
Okay.
Did you ever tell anybody that before today?
No, sir.
You know, there's a picture of his mugshot that they have in color.
Mhm.
This is black and white. If he's got red eyes, droopy eyes, wouldn't you want to show the mugshot in color to prove to the jury what you're saying is true? That'd be pretty powerful evidence, right?
Mhm. Yes, sir.
You've probably been in it. Have you ever been in a trial before?
No, it's my first time.
Okay, well. There's no alcohol in the vehicle? That's a question.
No, sir.
So, I mean, I never, the state asked you a question, did you form the opinion of whether or not he was intoxicated? You stated I wasn't able to do, or you weren't able to do the field sobriety test to determine if he was intoxicated or not, correct?
No, I just said that he refused. Yes, it was.
Right. I'm saying you were not able, you said you do the field sobriety test to determine if a person's intoxicated.
Correct.
You were not able to determine if he was intoxicated.
Correct.
And you have stated twice or more, you never said you thought he was intoxicated.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. But you arrested him, put him in cuffs, and he was in custody. You even called it in on your radio, one in custody for DWI.
Yes, sir.
But you didn't think he was intoxicated. Correct?
Correct.
Wait. Judge, I've asked everything I can. I object to the, I don't know what else.
Okay. Bring him past witness.
I'll pass, yes.
Officer, do you remember what the date was that Mr. Martinez was arrested?
August 31st.
What year?
2023.
And how long ago?
Logan, sweetheart, Pavel, love, you can't fix this. Did you just not hear what we all heard? He said he never thought the guy was intoxicated on stand. You can't fix this. Why are you trying? Lori. Oh my gosh. All right, let's just get through this. Let's see what Logan's gonna do to fix this.
What's that? What did you have for breakfast yesterday morning?
Stop. I just asked you, what are you gonna do to fix this? And you said, what did you have for breakfast yesterday morning? No, we needed something stronger, something better than that. I don't even know what I had for breakfast yesterday morning. So, Logan, you need something better. You need to pull out something better. Like, you know what would be nice right now? A blood alcohol test. I mean, that would be really nice right now.
If you had a video of you eating breakfast yesterday morning, would you be able to remember what?
Right.
Right. And when you wrote your police report, did you review your body camera before you wrote your police report?
No, sir, not.
And when you reviewed your body worn camera earlier before this trial, did you remember things that you didn't remember while you were writing your police report?
Yes, sir.
And do you agree that as time passes, our memories sort of fade?
Yes, sir.
And Officer Cazares, is your first language English?
No, sir.
What is your first language?
The Spanish.
In Spanish, is the ideas of a little bit, a few, many, are they closer related than, say, the English ideas of those?
No, they're different.
Okay.
They're different.
He's doing a good job
You
here.
translate,
That's good.
or when someone speaks to you in English, you translate it into Spanish and then translate it back into English?
Sometimes.
Okay. And are your memories kept in Spanish?
Sometimes.
Thank you. All right. On the toll road, I know the speed limit is 65, but how fast do people typically travel?
Typically on the total, they do between 68 to 75.
And you don't pull over everyone that you find speeding?
No, sir.
So you aren't, and this is the quote from the defense counsel, you're not a hammer looking for an nail?
That's correct.
And why did you pull over Mr. Martinez that night?
For the speeding violation.
How fast was he going?
About 100 miles an hour.
And 100 miles per hour is faster than the speed limit?
Yes, sir.
And it's faster than the other cars which were also speeding?
That's correct.
Get him, Judge. Get him.
Judge, I'm gonna just object to the cumulative nature of all this. This is nothing new.
Please, unless you have something new.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. We'll pass the witness.
Pass witness.
All right. May this witness be excused?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming and testifying. You're excused. Say nothing.
Are they subject to recall?
I'm releasing him.
I think it's a good time for break. Would you mind taking the jury out?
All right, Mr.
Let me get.
All right, please be seated. Tyler, we had a motion.
I have a motion to suppress the arrest. No probable cause. I mean, I think there's no credibility at all with this sign.
I'm gonna grant it. I'm gonna grant this motion.
And all the evidence that came after the arrest.
Bear with me 1 second. Let me go to the potty. I'll be right back.
I wasn't.
Potty break. Everybody, potty break.
Okay,
Oh, it's
hey,
over.
can we start that now? I'm gonna have them come out now to get it done quick.
Yeah,
Tyler,
Let's do it on the record.
go. There you are. Okay.
I was gonna let Miss Luna, make a
Okay,
motion.
for sure. Guys, I'm gonna bring a jury out, but it's only gonna be for 2 minutes. So it'll be real quick. All right, but guys, we're about to go back on the record. Come up, please. Tracy, it's only gonna be 2 minutes.
Do you want to articulate the official words and just make a motion?
Make the motion for directed verdict. That's it.
I want to tell her the right words to say if, but I'm sure okay.
You unzip first? Nice.
All right, the jury.
All right, please be seated, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Everyone, please be seated. All right, state, do you have anything else?
Your Honor, the state of Texas rests.
Okay, thank you so much. Defense,
We rest, Your Honor,
okay,
and then we do have a motion.
okay,
At this time, based on the evidence presented in the court's ruling, we would ask for a directed verdict of not guilty.
okay, I'll grant that for you. Thank you so much. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the jury, that's everything, basically. For now, we'll just have you come back up and go back to your room. And I'll be back here shortly. Okay, thank you.
All right, the jury.
What? You mean he's not guilty? What do you mean he's not guilty? That's crazy. That's crazy. So we got to see a full trial in Judge Fleischer's courtroom. He let that go on a little bit. I wonder if he let that go on a little bit because there are a couple people training in there. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. We're going to go with maybe because that trial was over at the near the beginning. It was only 2 hours of his day. So, you know what? We got to see that attorney. I think that attorney did a great job. Yes. He makes people angry. That's his job. He's to argue. His job is to argue and make you angry so that you get all tied up and tongue-tied and defensive. That's when you really start making mistakes. A good officer would, not get angry because he put down his report. I know I use the words, a couple, several, frequently, whatever, interchangeably all the time. So if that officer would have said, "Look, English is not my first language," which apparently is not mine either. um, and it's like these words are all the same to me. He would have been fine, but instead he got rattled. He got shook. My man was shook up there. Listen, legal. I'm with you. I love them. I love Pavel. I love Logan. I do. But this was a train wreck. It was a train wreck. And we got to see it, which, you know what? Maybe they just did it for us. Maybe they took one for the team. I just guys, I got cases that are piling up on me. There's just so much stuff to show, and I have cases piling up on me, and I need time. Yeah, Shukif. I need time to get these together and get them out to you because they're so good. So I was gonna post a video as a joke. Just like, okay, I have you guys are members. I have members, right? And there's 3 levels to um to the members. There's one person in the extreme level. I think it's $10 a month. I could be wrong. I don't know if it's 1, 2, 5 or 1, 5, 10. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. There's one person up there. And I found this judge yesterday, sometime in the last 17 days, whose voice is so bad. Doesn't matter. It's just so, so, so bad. So I was gonna just post that in the extreme member because you know that person, Fozzie, will sit there and watch it, the whole thing, right? Okay. Well, unfortunately, I wasn't going to show it to everybody because it's very, very hard to hear. Well, unfortunately, guys, he gave us a good case. So I'm not going to tell you who he is, but sometime during this week, I'm going to give you a judge. I'm not going to say it when it happens. You guys will just figure that out for yourselves. But he gave me a good case, and now it's just sitting there waiting. I'm not good with waiting on cases. Like that's why some of my streams are like 3 hours long. Because as soon as I get something, I have to put it out. I can't save it and wait, except for Judge Fleischer. I can because he does too much for one day. I have to ration him out. Big booty. Thank you for making more people green. Please check the comments on this video, Big Booty, because people will thank you for their membership. And they it makes them feel so happy. Listen, if you're gonna do anything on this channel, gifted memberships make the most people happy. I'm serious. Gifted memberships. They just some of their stories. Whoo, whoo. Victoria, I'm gonna see you in 3 hours. Did you divorce your husband yet? Because I showed you a video of him being not nice to you. Yep, he called you a thief. He said you stole from the judge. You borrowed from the judge. You borrowed a community item from the judge that everybody was allowed to share equally. So actually, it's the judge that's stealing from the community, as judges do, right? Yeah, you know what? She was probably starving. You're right. She was probably starving. I hope Melissa comes back today. I know her sister had that baby and she wants to play with the baby, but you shouldn't really play that much with a brand newborn because, they'll get sick. You got to leave them alone for a little bit. So I hope she comes in. Victoria, listen. Okay, I don't know if you can see. There's Stephen. There's Judge, there's Stephen. Right beside Stephen was this guy, and he waved to us. He waved to us. And I don't know his name. He was right here. Uh, he was right here today. What is his name? Oh, I wish that was on video. Yes, yes, yes. Yep, he had a beard and hair. Yes. Don't, Donald, don't. That was Todd, he said. Listen, I'm not moving forward until you answer me because I need to know. I know, but Kate, what's his name? He has to have a name. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. That was great. I'm not even gonna put that up because nope, nope. Okay, yeah. Since legal brought it up, I'm gonna bring it up. Your husband was talking about Vanessa in chat, and we all know there ain't no Vanessa. There's no Vanessa. Who was he talking about? A woman of questionable morals is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Michael's talking to and about a woman of questionable morals. We need to hire, oh my gosh, we need to hire a private investigator. Do not hire a private investigator. I am joking, and I can't joke like that. Michael is good stuff. Michael's a top-notch dude. He's my coworker. Yeah, me and him fighting Tods, fighting Tods all day while Fozzie sleeps. Fozzie works hard. He really does. From me. Say this is from me. No, 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 because he'll probably get a DUI. I'm so glad you married him. Yeah. Listen, can we just call him? Oh, this is so bad. Let's call him Dave. Guys, let's call the clerk in training Dave or David. Should we call him David? Should we say the D word? David? Are we going to get in trouble? Is the judge is the judge going to get us for saying the D word? No, we can't. I can't. Whoo! I can't. I can't. Yes, we know Michael's unharmed. You guys love each other so much. I mean, most husbands wouldn't sit there and watch a video of their wife all day while she's at work. Yeah, I know, Casey. I said the D word and now it's too hot in here. Don't let the judge see that. I can't call him Todd. I can't, CJ. I can't use that name because reasons. Oh, that's so romantic. And yeah, you that series was a love story. Chucky, we could call him Chucky. I like Chucky. Chucky's good. Nothing wrong with Chucky. No, we can't call him Todd. We just can't. Can we just not have Todd? Can we have any other name except for the D word and Todd, please? Can we just have Chucky? I like Chucky. It's it. I'm calling him Chucky. No one can change my mind. You guys can call him whatever you want, but you don't have a microphone. But if you want a microphone, let me know. You're welcome. You're welcome to come in here with me. And you don't have to have a camera. If you guys ever wanted to hop on a stream with me, that would be fine. Spartacus. Ooh, ooh, Chucky Spartacus. Oh no. Is that an A? Drango. Drango. Which one would make a, which one did Lena say? Linus, I missed yours. There. It's Chucky. He's not stuck, but he's there. Okay. That one, we could call him Chuck. We, we could. We call him Chuck. Just Chuck. Excellent adventure. All right. No Discord today because I absolutely have to make shorts. It's been days and there's no excuse for me slacking like this, guys. I absolutely need to stop what I'm doing and make shorts today, period. His answer rated E for everyone. Oh, Legal pulled out the chuckles. Okay. Chuckles. So we have, wait, where does Chuckles sit? All right, so Melissa would normally be where Steven is. Steven would normally be where Chuckles is. Where does Chuckles normally sit? Over in this area? Right here? Right? Yeah. No, you gotta stop with Todd. All right, Chuckles. He's gonna love that we call him Chuckles. I don't know if you saw Victoria, because I know you were very busy yesterday. But Goat Luis, was in the chat all day. Not all day, but Goat Luis hung out. I guess he was waiting for Court 10 and Court 11 to need a translator. And he is awesome. Like, that man is awesome. I loved it, every second of it. He was so nice. Who did someone just change their name to this, or did you just come in? Hello, if you just came in. Who are you if you just changed your name? All right, guys, I'm gonna get to work. I'm procrastinating. I need to get to work, guys. It's really important because Judge's stream comes on. Don't forget to come to Judge's stream and watch. We have a motions hearing today, or a revoke hearing today. Motion to revoke hearing today, maybe. I got there in the end. And I don't know what that's going to be like. It should be fun. Should be fun. A motion to revoke hearing. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm often wrong. But you didn't answer. All right, Victoria, you get to work. I'm going to get to work. I hope Melissa's there. See you later, Victoria. Have a great day at court. Bradley, it's Bradley. Bradley. Yeah, have a safe day, guys. Stay cool, just like Monica said. Behave, guys. Bye. And thank you, mods. Thank you so much, mods. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome.